So good afternoon and welcome to the Innovation Summit Schneider Electric in Barcelona. In this session, we're gonna talk about smart machines and how they will help us to develop new business models together. And before starting talking about the smart machines, I think just very shortly, my name is Ali Haj Fraj, and I'm running the machine solution business of Schneider Electric. It's basically all about providing our customers, the machine builders, the right solutions to equip their machines. And before starting talking about the solutions we are providing, let's take a look at what is, from our perspective, and I hope all of you will share this and confirm this, what is keeping a machine builder awake at night? What's important to a machine builder? Well, there are many topics which are important, but 4 are maybe the main ones. We need to focus them and we need to put them into consideration while talking about solutions and talking about digitization. So the first one is about being very fast in innovation. So in other words, reducing the time to market, building the machines, the most innovative machines in a very, very short time. The second one is about using the resources and especially the human resources is one aspect of it. It's not the only one, but the very important aspect of it. Using the resources in a very efficient way. The third one is having the best productivity on the market with the machine, so increasing the productivity in the machine. And the fourth one is increasing the availability of the machine. I think those are the 4 things. Maybe there are some others, but if you say what are the most important ones, those are the 4 ones. And we think that there is still a huge potential, if you look at very serious studies, a huge potential to improve on those 4 aspects. So reducing the time to market, being more fast, so 20 to 50% depending on how optimized your processes are, how are the tools you are using in engineering, simulation, etc. So 20 to 50% of possibilities there. To reuse the know-how and the resources in the company, especially in a time of aging forces and shortage of talents. So also here we are talking about 45 to 55% of efficiency here. Productivity 3 to 5%, which is a lot of money. If you put this in terms of profit, it's a lot of money which could be improved here. And the topic of availability of the machines, if you look to the service and maintenance processes today, there is an opportunity to improve this by 30 to even 50% by being more efficient, by deploying digital tools and the digital means we have today, by having a very efficient digital transformation. And we think that this is today possible. It's not anymore a discussion about the future. If we look to the technology we have today, actually the technology available today is enabling this. It's not anymore science fiction. So we will look to the connectivity we have today, the mobility devices or mobile devices. The cloud is accessible to everyone and very in a very economic way. And analytics very powerful today and can do a lot here to improve the way we are dealing with machines, the way we are dealing with service, etc. So actually technology is ready today, is not anymore an obstacle to be deployed. And we think also that to be successful in this transformation and building a smart machine, you need to deploy digital tools or digitize the whole life cycle of the machine. It's not all about, at the end stage of the machine, connect the machine or put a gateway, or we think that this should be a holistic approach so that you can leverage the optimal efficiency out of this. And it starts by design and engineering, where we are talking about smart design, smart engineering. That means having tools to simulate the machine without building the real machine, having tools to make engineering very efficiency, for example, by having automatic code analysis, which helps and enables to the engineers to be more efficient, very fast in programming doing their engineering stuff. When it comes to commission and operations, we are talking smart commissioning, smart operation, smart commissioning by empowering the commissioning engineer to be very fast in using in commissioning the machine, using new tools like augmented reality, using new tools for plug and work concepts, so that the engineer is not spending a lot of time, wasting a lot of time in connecting things together, commissioning difficult things together, or looking for failure and mistakes to solve them. So here, a lot of the technology, the digitization of the process allows a lot of efficiency here. So maintenance and service, and maybe this is one of the very important topics, we can transform this whole phase, which is actually the longest phase in the machine, because you may build the machine in a couple of months, commission it, and then it runs for 10, 15, or 20 years. And this is by using connectivity, by using digital services, and by using analytics, predictive maintenance, machine learning. This is a huge potential to be leveraged here. And we will talk about this later on in more details. This is actually where the business models, and that's why I said it's not only now a discussion about technology, it's actually primarily a discussion about business models. How now with this transformation, we can transform our business, we can generate new revenue streams here, and be efficient along the whole life cycle. So what we did at Schneider Electric, and you have heard a lot about it, so EcoStruxure is our platform to deploy those solutions. We have it for 6 domains. One of them is EcoStruxure Machine. This is where we have put all our knowledge and all our expertise, and we combined our portfolio in a way to build a very consistent architecture, which is open, which is simple to deploy, and to enable to build smart machines and enable digital transformation. By putting the 3 layers here, you have heard, connected products, we have a very comprehensive portfolio going from sensors up to a complex robot. We have a very scalable layer of edge controls, where we can automate or control from simple machines up to very high complex, high performance machines. And then we have the layer of analytics and software, where we can provide our customers the ability to connect the machines into the IT layer with the software. We have the Aviva software suite, but we have also what we call advisors, a very specific applications, cloud applications for the OEMs to be able to track, monitor, and service their machines. So, and we'll come later on to this. I think what you will, if you have visited the booth we have for EcoStruxure Machine, you have seen that we came up this year with 3 very important innovations. On the connected products, it's Stasis Island. On the edge control, the Modicon M262, and on the 3rd layer, the applications, we have the EcoStruxure Machine Advisor with very rich package of analytics. And what's common on those, why I'm showing those, and why we are saying, if you remember maybe the slogan we have everywhere is EcoStruxure innovation at every layer. We are innovating all the layers here to enable building smart machines and enable the digital transformation for our customers. So I said it's not only about having a gateway or connecting the machine, it's about making all the devices also ready for the Industry 4.0 journey. Thesis Island is a load management system. In the past, those systems have been electromechanical parts. This is the first load management system which is digital. We have eliminated all the wirings, the auxiliary wiring here. We have eliminated all the IOs, the hardware. We have eliminated all the relays and the power, the power meters and so on. We have brought all the intelligence into this device. We have made out of an electrical mechanical device a really smart device with software, very easy to be configured and very easy to be connected. And the same thing with Modicon M262. In the basis is a very powerful logic and motion controller, but it can much more. It's prepared for Industry 4.0. It can speak directly to the cloud without any gateway. It has all the cybersecurity needs embedded here, and all the requirements are fulfilled. So it's really an IoT ready or Industry 4.0 ready controller. So, and we supplement this with the Machine Advisor, which is a very dedicated application for our machine builders to be able to connect their machines in a very easy way. And I will come later on again to Machine Advisor, but think it's better to hear the testimonial of one of our customers on how they have deployed
when my daughter asked me what I do at work,
I'm
really proud to say that we're striving to make millions of people's lives better. My name is Julian Ulich. I'm CEO of Entrade Worldwide. At Entrade, we believe that waste is one of the major challenges of the 21st century, and it needs innovative technology to convert that waste into clean electricity, heating and cooling right on site. So the challenge we brought to Schneider Electric was how to build an integrated system that is secure to operate anywhere in the world, that can be maintained by simple maintenance person. Schneider Electric offered the opportunity to integrate multiple products into our services. So we have a hardware level that's on the ground in automation using Modicon systems to actually automate the system and the system clusters on site. And we don't see that there's another company right now in the world that can offer this flexibility of services. The Internet of Things is the foundation of our business model. So now I'm actually able to run an entire global utility from my mobile phone. The remote management of a global decentralized utility would not be possible without the software products of EcoStruxure. Our major achievement in working with Schneider Electric is finding a global partner that understands our vision, that shares our vision of bringing clean electricity, heating and cooling as efficiently as possible to millions of people all over the globe.
Good. So I promised to get back to Machine Advisor in a very short way. I think you can see it on the booth more, in more depth. But what's Machine Advisor? It's a very simple idea. As a machine builder, you are producing hundreds of machines every year, shipping them around the world. So what you need is a very simple tool which allows you, first of all, to track those machines, to know every machine, where it is, what's the bill of material there, and maybe what kind of tasks you need to perform on those machines in proactive way. And this is the first function of Machine Advisor, which we call track. The second one we call monitor. It's when you start getting data out of the machine and you can run powerful analytics on this to do predictive maintenance, to know that the machine is going to maybe be broken in 1 week and you need to do something. So this is not science fiction. This is today possible. We can predict that a robot arm will be broken in 1 week or in 4 days, by running those analytics. We can predict that a compressor started leaking and started, being inefficient. So this is possible today with Machine Advisor. So, and the third application or a function in this tool is we call fix. Is when something happens is that you have the tools to act remotely with augmented reality and secure remote access to get access to the machine and not fly 12 hours, from one continent to other to repair it, but help the people on site to fix it. So very simple but very consistent and powerful tool, which is very easy to customize to your need. So we think it's very important for our customers to get get tools which are very easy to get started. So you don't need months to get this running. A machine can be, the first pilot machine can be within 2 or 3 hours, can be online, up and working. All the tools, all the dashboards, all the functionalities you need there are pre-configured, can be adapted very easily to your needs. And again, the idea here is not to connect the machine for the sake of the machine or talk about technology. I think here, by doing this, you remember the pain points of the machine, productivity and availability. This is an enabler for that. This is how you can ensure that your machine is running in a perfect way and running, all the time, and you can predict when something is happening and you can manage it better. When doing this, we are preparing the way, and even I know today is still not possible, but the vision is to make machine as a service reality with very simple tools. You don't need to have the armies of IT people. All what you need is your know-how combined with our platform to create this. And by doing this, we think that new opportunities will emerge from being very reactive today. Wait, the end user is calling, say the machine is broken, can we service it? And maybe I'm exaggerating a bit, but this is reality today. Moving to, I can provide and sell the availability and reliability of my machine, and it's worth a lot it has a value for my end user, and I can monetize this and create a new opportunity for growth for me and for my company. So, with this, I would like to stop this presentation and the introduction to the topic, and I want to continue with a discussion with two executives of our customers, and I'm very honored to welcome Georg Weber, the CTO of Wilo, and Jose Luis Gimenez, the SVP of Barberan. So please join me. So, hi. Hi. So please take your seats. So I think to start, maybe we'll start with you, Georg. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what Wilo is doing?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the invitation to be here. Hello together. My name is Georg Weber, as you see. I'm happily working and representing the company Wilo. Wilo is one of the leading pump manufacturers and pump system manufacturer. We employ worldwide 8,000 people, and we're, let's say, one of the digital pioneers in the pump industry. And we operate basically in almost all countries in this world. And as I said, digital pioneer is something as a vision, but also we try to bring life to that statement.
Excellent, thank you. So, Jose Luis, maybe also the same to you.
Hi.
So, can you please present yourself to the audience and tell us what Barberan is doing?
Hi, my name is Jose Luis Gimenez. I work for Barberan. We are a small company, just only 200 employees, located 15 kilometers from here. So we are playing local. We manufacture mainly machinery for the wood industry, and recently for the digital printings for the corrugated and packaging industry. Our 200 employees, 25% are engineers. We are selling everywhere in the world, from Russia, Australia, South Africa, Brazil, USA, Canada.
So, thank you, Jose Luis. So, getting back to you, George. I have been talking about digital transformation and how this is important. What's the view from Weber here? How important is it for you? What do you think about it?
Well, I think that when we look at the presentation this morning from Jean-Pascal Tricoire, your CEO, it is obvious that the digitalization is changing our lives, our industry rapidly, and is massively. Next to that, we see a disruption as well with the climate change. So we live in very turbulent times. And just to get you a flavor of that, what it means for Wilo is that we currently invest 300 million euro in a smart factory in the center of Europe, in the center of Germany. Mm-hmm. And this will be a smart factory. And by the way, supported by Schneider technology. We basically believe that with digitalization, we can bring back work also to Europe. We also are able to have the productivity, but also the energy saving which we are as a company standing for.
Good, thank you, George. Jose Luis, you are also working on digitization, right? So what are the benefits you want to provide to your customers by focusing on this topic?
Going back to the digitalization in principle, I would start saying that all our customers are expecting that the machines are connected. It's like smartphones just only have 12 years old, but nowadays everybody is expecting to connect it to home, cameras, this kind of stuff. So it's just a natural expectation. Everybody wants the machines connected and being able to have a look what's going on in the factory. But digitalization is improving the overall environment of the customers. The idea is that allows the customer to do things better, cheaper and faster. Is at the end, digital will allow the customers to improve the efficiency, the service to the customer, the performance, meaning cost of the production that they are doing, the response time to the market, and of course the exchange of information, acquisition and exchange, both things. I would say that digitalization as a global for the managers of the companies is going to improve the decision making.
Very good, thank you. Let me please stay with you and build up on this. So by doing this, what business potential you see here? Because we have been also talking about new business models. I introduced this topic. So where are the potentials you see in the business?
Let's say for the customers is one thing. For us as a machine manufacturer, the real business opportunity is coming from the possible change role of the machine manufacturer itself. Right now, the machine manufacturers are just delivering the machine, and after just taking an operation, we have a very little contact with the customers. They are, the machine is in the field, is running, and okay, maybe you sell it some spare parts, but not much. The the role change is coming from changing from machine manufacturer to service provider in the complete life span of the machinery. That is a lot of challenges. For us, the first thing that we need is that service provider regarding machinery is just working with information that we are collecting. Somehow we are working on that and just returning to the customers. But customers right now are not used to pay for information. All the information that we find out in internet is for free. And that is the real challenge that we are having right now.
Very good, thank you. So Georg, to you back, and in the same context of business models, business potentials. So your pumps are everywhere. And by connecting them, you can gather a lot of data. So, and I just give an example of compressor, for example, is leaking, or it's energy inefficiency. You can provide some, more advantages here by monitoring this. So how is the potential you see really here to go that way and be the pioneer of connected pump systems and generate business out of this?
Well, there are many opportunities in this area. As Jose said, this is similar to our application that it's fantastic, of course, to have the data. By the way, this is not so easy to collect. All customers need to have the confidence in you that they give you the data. That's the first hurdle you have to overcome. But once that is done, you can do indeed a lot in terms of prevention. And we have jointly, Schneider and Wilo, we are running a number of pilots where we try to make our first steps in analyzing this data. I can tell you honestly, this is a hard way to go. We hear all the nice stories about how great that is. It's a hard way, but once it is there, and we see these first fruits coming now in some projects, then you see the benefit of having an early warning. Because you can imagine, we are with our pumps sometimes in very critical devices like water plants, sewage plants, hospitals, etc., where people count on you that there is reliability close to 100%. So this is a field where we are absolutely working in. And secondly, if we go and span the whole discussion a bit further and larger, like what we saw this morning from Jean-Pascal, is then when we are looking from a single pump into a building, a sewage plant, but also into a smart urban area like a city, a smart city, and beyond that, then the game starts to really kick in, let's say, with energy saving potentials which we dream of today. And I think that was really, let's say, in a great manner presented this morning. This is what we dream of course.
Good. Thank you. So back to you, Jose Luis. Now, while trying to implement those new concepts and so on, we are very lucky to be your partner. So you are what I have showed here with these innovations, among others, the Modicon M262. So you are using this, and so what? So what are the perspectives you see by deploying EcoStruxure Machine more and more with all its layers with your machines?
Yeah, we are years using already the solutions from Schneider. We have a very, very good relation with Schneider in Barcelona. And from years we have been using the small units. But then one of the things that M262 is going to bring is that it's going to enlarge the family. It's going to be like the big brother of the unit that we have been installing, because it's 241 and 252, if I remember. And then M262 is going to offer us the opportunity to deal with much bigger, complex projects in as usual, the simple way EcoStruxure is offering us.
Yeah. Thank you, Jose Luis. Georg, I had the privilege to visit you a couple of months ago, and we had a discussion. It's available on YouTube, where you have discussed or shared with me the broader focus of Wilo on digitization. A lot of aspects you are driving the company to digitize. And maybe it's beneficial for the audience to hear to hear this from you in a nutshell.
Yeah, if I look back, I think we seriously started in Wilo, I would say 5 years ago. Of course, we had some earlier projects, but seriously, we started 5 years ago drafting a digital strategy, and basically we put that very high on the agenda in the board, also for the company as a long-term strategy. That was where the term digital pioneer was born at that time. So we have been working very hard in digitizing processes, products, the connectivity, but now we are entering a new phase, talking business models, talking AI, and these kind of things. So I think we're now at the edge of, not this edge, but the other edge of, let's say, investing heavily in the infrastructure of IT. We have roughly 70 to 80 locations worldwide, and we are now thinking of harmonizing IT completely and complete all processes in the company. So for our company, as I said, we make 1.5 billion euro turnover. We will probably invest 50 to 100 million in the next years just on IT infrastructure. And there, of course, we are very open-minded, let's say, in terms of these solutions and platforms, what we are talking about right now. So that is one thing, and if you ask me in general what is now the next step of that, then it's from monitoring basically to prevention. So earning and harvesting what we have, let's say, been putting in the soil now. This is in a nutshell the journey.
And I think what we have prepared in EcoStruxure platform and with Machine Advisor is exactly what you are looking for.
It fits well. Yeah, thank you.
Very good, very good. But maybe another question now in this regard. A lot of projects where we are collaborating together, and I would like to ask you as a partner, so why you have chosen Schneider Electric? Why you have chosen us to go this way with you? Well, we are very honored to do that, but maybe if you share it.
Well, shall I be honest?
Yeah, only honest.
No, we were joking this morning when we talked about it. Well, seriously, I think although we are 20 times smaller than Schneider, when you look at our strategies, when you look at the chemistry, when you look at the values, I think there is a great match. Not in size, but in thinking, in vision. And I think personally as well, because here in the audience we have some players of these 10 at least pilots which we run, then it's also the chemistry which is quite okay between the two parties. I think this is we have a lot of fun together, I would say, and we are also honest to each other that when the pilot is not working, that we say, okay, let's put that on hold or put it, let's say, in the dash bin and move on and look for new opportunities. I think that is a portion of honesty, a portion of openness, as we heard also this morning from the Microsoft colleague. Openness, this is what drives us.
Excellent, thank you very much. Also to you, Jose Luis, maybe the same question also. We have a very strong collaboration, very long collaboration. So what's the reason behind this?
Well, first of all, we are not 20 times, we are 1,000 times smaller than Schneider, because we are in the range of 200 people only. But we are 200, but we are number one in the world in our small niche of market. Well, we are very long time relationship with Schneider Electric Spain, the office in Barcelona, and since the beginning, years ago, what we find out is a valuable and reliable partner in there. So has been offering simple and practical solutions to complex problems. That is exactly what we are looking for, is the kind of partnership. Right now, what we have is a very close and trusted partner in Schneider Electric that we know that is there always that we have a problem. We are close in distance and close in personal as well. So that's exactly the kind of partner. For us, it's perfect.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and can tell you that we are really very committed to drive this forward. I think technology is very important, but also people and relationship and partnership is very important. And I think here size is not decisive. What's important is that we support each other and collaborate and bring things forward to be successful in what we are doing together. So I think at this point of time, I would like to maybe look to the audience and say, maybe if you have the one or the other question to ask to my guests, I would be very happy to take it. So maybe in the meanwhile, when you think about your questions, maybe I would like to ask you for a question. I mean, obviously you are doing a lot for digitization, and there is an effort ongoing there. For sure, you have seen the one or the other obstacles, and there is a lot of them. So can you share with the audience, for the benefit of everyone, what are the biggest obstacles you have met?
Let's say, for us as a machine manufacturer, together with Schneider, it has been easy making the hardware for supplying this data to the customer. Right now, we are the feeling that we are just equipping the machines with a big pipe that every minute, every second, we are pumping a lot of information to the customers. But the experience is that most of the customers are just taking all this information, places in a bag, making a note, and just storing. So they have the information, but now the biggest challenge is how to process this information, what to get benefit out of this information. And that is where we are right now. We have the feeling that we need millions of people programming, working this, because introduce this data inside the RP of a customer is different. We have a machine advisor, of course. We are offering machine advisor to the customers, but that is not introducing inside the link between the data and their own systems. That is, for me, is the biggest challenge that we have right now.
Okay, thank you for sharing this. So, George?
Well, a few obstacles. It depends a bit how large you let's say, span this umbrella. One obstacle is typically the data conversion, typically where we have issues, that connections in the interfaces, typically there are all kinds of issues in doing that. I think when you look more for organizations and cooperation than like what I said before, openness, there's a lot of fears always in this game, because that is what we have, and I can talk for a industry which is super conservative and slow and very cautious. So we need to build trust a lot, let's say, with our, for example, installers. We need to show them what their benefit is. And typically data, as I said before, the trust, if we can get data, is let's say, something which is not that easy as we typically are used to. When we get our apps and updates, we click on yes, I agree, because we don't read 20 pages of small letters, because we trust. This is a bit difficult for us, let's say, because companies are very, very careful, because they believe that their core know-how and their core reason for existence is linked with their data. And so that discussion is a very difficult one, typically, what you have to overcome. And then one new thing, what I learned also, or we learned in the last, let's say, 12 months or so, is the issue with, let's say, more and more hurdles you have to overcome when you talk about multinational data transfers. So that, let's say, you have to get your data into a different country than the other one, and we all know the cases, let's say, where that is an issue. And those are obstacles we have to overcome. But we learn from each other, and you are experts in that, and far larger. So this is what we benefit from your experience as well, I guess.
We have a similar situation, that is the ownership of the data. How, for example, for preventive maintenance, we need to know when a motor is going to fail. But for that, we need to collect the data. But that when we find out, it's like a trench war every time with the customers trying to say, no, I want that data. But the customers say, no, that data is mine, it's not yours. Yeah, but then I'm not going to learn. That is the point. Simple data that is nothing to do with the production itself of the customer, but just only a motor, how long is running a day. No. We find right now companies saying no. For example, IKEA is telling us, no, every single data out of the machine is mine, not yours. that is stopping us. This is a big problem.
Indeed, and I think the answer for this is maybe this will take more time than what we have, but we should talk about, also educate ourselves. There must be a digital trust in the process in this here, and there are tools and means how to deal with this and how to protect IPs, to protect data, and just to give access for the need principle, who needs to see that or to deal with that. So there are solutions for that. It's a matter of a dialogue and education about that and having trust in the digital world. So maybe I'm looking back, you had time to think if maybe the one or the other question is emerging. Yeah, we have one. Maybe the mic, if we can. Yeah. We can't hear you.
¿Ahora?
Yeah.
Buenas tardes, soy Jose Luis Gimenez, es referente a los datos que están hablando. Eso es referente a que todos los datos que llegan a ustedes a través de las máquinas que instalan es referente a la nube. ¿No sería más, para evitar esos problemas, no sería más fácil que los datos se quedaran en la empresa y la empresa gestionara ese mantenimiento? ¿O sería muy complicado eso? De esta forma tenemos... ¿Me oye?
Yo sí,
ahora
con mi compañero que está
¿me oye?
en inglés. Direct translation.
¿Me oye?
Sí, perfectamente.
¿Sí? O sea, de esta forma se matarían dos pájaros de un tiro. O sea, uno sería el problema de la privacidad de los datos y otro sería el otro problema que, por ejemplo, que las empresas pequeñas es muy difícil entrar en la nube porque el costo es importante. De esta forma facilitaría que las empresas pequeñas pudieran acceder a este tipo de instalaciones. Gracias.
A ver si lo he entendido bien. Lo que usted plantea es la... ¿No?
A ver, Jose Luis, for the benefit for everyone, if you repeat the question in English and you answer it, please, in English. But I'm sorry about that.
No.
We haven't heard this.
I'm just trying to understand the question.
Yeah.
1 second in Spanish and then I continue in English, okay? No, la cuestión que usted planteaba era que los datos se quedaran en la empresa. ¿No le escuchan? No, por favor, ¿puedes mirarle que no me escucha? No le funciona el... Let's see now. Well, the idea is just a question of the ownership of the data. Okay, just... ¿Ahora ya le funciona? Perfecto. No, lo que usted planteaba era la posibilidad de que los datos se quedaran en la empresa, en la que ha comprado, que ha adquirido la maquinaria, se refiere. ¿Correcto? Okay, the idea, the question is that, okay, maybe it's easier to avoid is that the data stays inside the factory, inside the owner of the machine. When somebody buys the machine, just install it there. The problem about this, as a way to avoid the cost of the cloud or giving all the information in the cloud and all these things for small companies. The problem is that we as a machine manufacturer, our base of machines is huge. And then from the volume, you really the preventive maintenance, you get it out of statistics, and that is based in the amount, in numbers. If you have 2-3 machines, very difficult that you are going to get it any statistic that tells you this motor is going to fail in the next 3 months. But it's just volume. When you have a volume, and then you can learn about this. So the problem is that we need to collect the data of all these small companies to create a big data, and then we will be able to offer to these small companies this idea, advice, hey, you should buy these spare parts because in the next 3 months this motor is going to fail. But if everybody is owner of the own data, is not sharing, let's say, with us that we are the machine manufacturer, we will not be a learning effect.
Yeah.
But that is the challenge, because at the end, cloud is a challenge for small companies. That is exactly where we are. The first of all is that Schneider has offered us, for the first time, a simple, cheap solution for connecting small machines to internet.
Yeah.
Sorry, we ran out of time.
Very good.
Comentamos ahora en un momento en privado, si le parece. La audiencia era en inglés.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So I think we are at the end of this session, but if you have the one or the other question, please join us. We'll be around here to discuss further with you. It would be great. So, but here at this point of time, I would like to thank you, George, to thank you, Jose Luis, for joining me, for your time, for your insight, and see you next time on the Innovation Summit. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.